Joe and Mildred Ernst had a dream of bringing radio and television to Wyoming. So they moved to Whirlin on April 7th, 1945, from Washington to build radio station KWOR. The station went on the air a year later, but because of World War II, supplies were limited. Many things they did were of the make-do variety. The radio tower is believed to be the only one in the world made of drill stem casings. Not standard, but it worked, and it got them on the air. They soon opened a station in Riverton, then KGOS in Torrington. In 1955, Mildred moved to Thermopolis to build and operate KRTR. Later, Joe was able to convince Mildred that northern Wyoming needed television and that they were the only ones who could do it. She agreed, and their television station was born, but not without a few problems. They ordered their equipment, and it was to be delivered by GE in July of 1957. By September, they still had no equipment. Mildred flew to Syracuse, New York, and marched into the office of the vice president and sat down in the chair in front of his desk. She said, "I hope you like my looks, because I'm not moving out of this chair until I get my way. Bills on every piece of equipment we've ordered from you. It was supposed to be sent last July, and it's already September, and it's still sitting in your warehouse." As the vice president started to talk, Mildred interrupted him to say, "I'm absolutely not going to leave until I get them, and don't worry about me. I can sleep in this chair quite comfortably for as long as it takes." Needless to say, the equipment was shipped immediately, and the station was up and running shortly thereafter. The first color program to air on KWRB television was Bonanza in 1964. Mildred has said that getting the television station on the air was the highlight of her career. As much as Mildred loved television, her first love was radio. That is how she met Joe, at a radio station in Seattle. He was the chief engineer and had helped to build and install the radio equipment on Admiral Byrd's ship when he went to the South Pole. Mildred enjoyed broadcasting from the first and is one of the few women who have done play-by-play broadcasting of baseball, basketball games, and rodeo. She loved sports, and she loved radio. So, it was a perfect fit. Mildred and Joe received the Pioneer Award from the Wyoming Association of Broadcasters, the first one ever presented. The inscription read, "The Wyoming Association of Broadcasters gratefully acknowledge the many contributions of Joe and Mildred Ernst to Wyoming radio and television. Their pioneering efforts to open new areas of Wyoming to broadcasting have benefited thousands of Wyoming citizens." The Ernsts have 3 children. Their 2 sons, Carl Kurtzen and Phil Ernst, played an important role in getting their stations up and running. The Ernsts sold their stations in 1980 and retired in Thermopolis. Unfortunately, later that year, Mrs. Ernst died at the age of 79. And many years later, in 1999, Joe died at the age of 93. Although they are both gone, they will not be forgotten. There are many stories people still tell of what it took to get broadcast on the air and the creativity and ingenuity they both had to make it happen. Joe and Mildred Ernst are truly pioneers of the radio and television industry. Thank you, Joe and Mildred, for your spirit, your dedication, and your vision.